Hey, welcome back for part 3, and let's get into it. So let's look into ballistics. So it's all about ballistic curve or trajectory, like this image here, ball bouncing. So with Cascadeur, it tries to work out the height of the jump, which I will show you now. So with the normal throw, like physics works, so it's a high trajectory, bounces lower and lower, lower, for example. And there's auto physics on. So we'll look into that. And then also then the height of the jump. So we're actually going to do a similar example to that one, and then how to increase it. So let's just get into it. So here's my UE5 model. I'm going to let it jump just a bit forward, and then here's our jump up there. Okay, I'm actually going to move a little bit forward because we need to meet in between. So let's put him, highlight everything over there. There we go. So that's our jump. And then we add in our interpolation, do clamped, and there's our jump. Now I'm going to add my auto physics, which is literally just a click of a button. And then there's jump as well with our ballistics. And then here's our jump as well with a ballistic trajectory. So I'm just going to make this smaller. Let's see what it looks like. There's a jump. Okay. And then I actually want him when he lands just to have a bit more of a solid landing. Highlight this and just push him down a little bit like that. And let us make him stand up straight again, like that. See what that looks like. Jump, land, and up. Okay, great. So you can put flare in it if you want. It's just for the explanation. So there's our little trajectory over there. Okay, but now, okay, so he's jumped that height, but I'm actually not too happy with, for example, how high he's jumping. I want to jump higher. So how we do that? We put extra time in the air for this character. And we do that just by increasing the time between the keyframes. You press anywhere in between here, and you just press plus. So plus, 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 plus. And there, your character jumps higher. So let's see what it looks like now when he lands. Do we want the jump to be not as high? Just decrease the frames. Small jump. And then do we want it to last longer to jump, or we go even higher? We increase both. So let's see what that looks like. It just stays long in the air. I'm going to do it even more. So we just press plus. And then look, see how high it goes. Up in the air. And then we go into rotation. Okay, so of course this example would work, but yes, here's the separation of motion. Just like they explained. I'll actually link their video down below. It explains it quite nicely. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. It's on 90, so it's quite hard. And then I'm going to just make it to 50. It shouldn't look as harsh. Yeah, looks better. And now for this one, for example, looks not great. So I'm actually going to make it a priority frame and see what it does there. Okay. Looks better. So it's cleaning up, but that's what it is. So I'll definitely go back and make a better video on this rotation. I need to work more on that. And then as I showed now, you can set priority keyframes. Like if you're not completely happy with what autophysics is doing, like it doesn't look too natural. Like obviously doesn't one needs cleaning up or just needs to be better. But but if you're not happy, you can set a priority frame. So that means, for example, that I want the way my character looks over here to look exactly on my auto physics. So then you just make it a priority frame, which I did over here, and has to be on a keyframe as well. What I forgot to actually show you is the ghost offset. So ghost offset is, I'm actually going to open a new one, new scene. Sample. I'm going to take this one that's already been done, the backflip. Here's my backflip. Looks awesome. But now I want to edit in between, let's say, these two frames, and I actually like to see what the previous frame and next frame looks like. We can do that by ghost offset, which is over here. So we outline our ghost, which is on. We just have to select it over here. Sorry, ghost is on. We select it over here. There we go. So we can go previous ghost, so it's a previous frame, next frame, and then in between frames. So I usually don't use it, but it does come in handy if you want to just fiddle a bit with the in between the frames to make it look a bit better. And I think you can also do silhouette mode like that, and you can also make it darker just for in between to see exactly what you're working with. So let's see, I'm going to do 3. So let's just follow this one. So for example, okay, now we land, we go up. So for example, I actually want to do I want to see what the next frame is. My next frame is going to be that one silhouetted out, which is there. My next frame is there. So if I want to just make a little edit on here, I can just play around my character. Let's put, not that, this one. Put that back on. So I know what it's going to look like the next frame. So I can make edits here. So let's just move my character like this. So it's just to show what the next frame is going to look like. So this might be a bit of an aggressive pop up, if I can put it like that. So that is that for our basics. So what I'm thinking of doing is just documenting my own journey of learning Cascadeur, and then how you can apply it to your own animations. So for example, like a lot of video mocap, I am going to work on quadrupeds as well, and also I'm working on adding a weapon with its own weapon with its own animation as well on a character. So for example, you throw an axe and it comes back, or a boomerang, or a spear, whatever the case might be. I think I'm going to work on that as well, and then use it on Unreal. That's the basics. I hope it helps. Have a good one. Bye.